Get past so much for welcome back to Brain Let's get right into it. So, ignore the gloves and the fucking sweat. I'm about to go work out, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what's happening this Saturday. We know this Saturday is pretty much MMA versus boxing, UFC versus boxing, right? We all know this Saturday is a highly intercept, what it's called, highly fucking hyped card of 306 and the Spear card, bro. The Spear card that Dana White been fucking teasing for like a half a year now. And we all know who boxing event is at the same night. Yes, you already know who I'm talking about. This zone L Brooke versus Jenny fucking Savage, bro. We all know this too is. No, I'm kidding, bro. I didn't even know this fight was. Who even fucking are this? Okay, bro. We all know what's happening on Saturday. It's Canelo versus Edgar. We all know Canelo and fucking UFC are going head to head. Not for the first time, but this is probably like their rematch, right? And it's interesting because pretty much not the UFC, but everybody else is pretty much promoting this as boxing for UFC. Pick your side. Who are you going to watch? You go watch boxing or you go watch UFC. Now, if you say who you're picking, I'm Sweden, motherfucker. I'm Sweden in this fucking war. I root for both sides. I'm like, yeah, bro. Whoever wins, wins. I'm still gonna be happy because I love both sports. I've grown to love the UFC over the past few years, and I've been loving boxing for a while now. I love both sports, so two goals can coexist, bro. But let's have a little fun. Let's see who's winning this war, right? Because it is kind of a war. It's kind of a who's going to sell more, who's going to do better war. Because boxing and MMA has been talking shit to each other for a while. And if we go back, right, let's be honest, boxing fans, boxing heads, UFC has been dominating for the last few years, right? Because we all know since Floyd left, right, it was boxing, right? Boxing was always on top, the biggest combat sport ever. Ready? Until Conor McGregor. Until Conor McGregor started growing and UFC started to growing. And UFC kinda came atop. Like when Conor fought Floyd, I think that's when UFC really became a mainstream name, right? And people started to watch UFC more. Like when that Khabib and Conor fight happened, that was probably one of the biggest fights, and that was one of the fights that caused UFC to kind of overtake Floyd. I mean, to overtake boxing, because yes, you still had Canelo, like Triple G. You all had these big boxing, but boxing was dying. Boxing was dying because UFC had a great game plan. Number one, remember before boxing, the only reason you will watch a whole boxing card is just a main event. They will literally have good main events, and the rest will be filled with filler nonsense and nobody gives a fuck about. But that's not UFC. Remember, UFC would stack a card. They would put multiple fighters or even all the card with fucking fighters you fuck with, right? And lately, boxing has finally started the UFC way, started to do what UFC does. Because don't forget, also what boxing did was stat pad your fucking record. Floyd Mayweather kind of fucked us up for a little bit because everybody wanted to be 50-0. Everybody wanted to be undefeated. But if we look for all these undefeated fighters, we're like, yo, you really didn't fight anybody. Like, there's someone who, like, with Caleb Plant, who has multiple losses, but has a better record than someone who's undefeated. How is that possible? Because all these motherfuckers would stat pad their fucking stats. So recently, we've been now introduced to the fight the best, like in UFC, and that's thankful because of Prince Turkish, the motherfucker who's on UFC side. Funny enough, Prince Turkish really came in here and was like, yo, why are we doing boxing events, number one, with ass cards, with just one main event we want to see, the rest is filler? No, I want to stack a card with multiple fights we want to see, like that, like Crawford card, like the Anthony Joshua card. Like he's been stacking cards, and many other people been following to do it. Like look at this Canelo card. It's you got Caleb Plant, you got Rolly, you got Marky, not Mikey, but you got Danny Garcia, I'm pretty sure. And you got Lole fucking, you got Stephen Fulton, who's fucking starting up the card. Multiple big names in that fucking card. They're finally starting to do that way. And look at Tank fight. Look when Tank fought Frank Martin. Tank had Frank Martin. Then you also had David Benavidez versus fucking wherever his fucking name is, because I forgot because he was retired. You have now big fucking cards. Like, let's be honest, UFC was winning. For the past few years, UFC was winning, and probably UFC is the best at it right now. But that's also in boxing. Boxing is probably at the best right now too. So right now it's tied. Like UFC was winning, UFC was on top, boxing was slowing dying until Prince Turkey was like, nah, I'm gonna give you some money. And when Francis came in, when fucking Tyson Fury versus Usyk happened, like this year has been boxing year. Like, yes, like it's been back and forth. Like recently it's been boxing. Like this year has been back and forth. I don't want to say boxing because it hasn't. It's been UFC and boxing, but boxing has made a comeback because in earlier the year, of course, you had Sean Strickland versus DDP, not a great event. Then you had UFC, then you had Volk versus Utopia. That was a good event. Then you had UFC 3, you have UFC 299, UFC 300. Both cards stack as fuck and good cards, right? But then they took a dip. Then around that May time, boxing started to take over. You had the fucking heavyweight. You had the heavyweight undisputed match. You had the Anthony Joshua fight. You have the Canelo fight with Jaime Munguia. Then in June, you had multiple big fights like Tank fight. You had also April, you also had that Devin Haney fight and the aftermath of it. And July, kind of, like in June was supposed to be UFC, was to be like, nah, UFC was supposed to be like, nah, I'm still on top, but Conor McGregor pull out. Kamza pull out. There were still good events, but again, wasn't as big as boxing. Now UFC is like, it's funny how UFC took the early part of this year, right? They took the early 2024. Boxing took the half of this year. So right now they're both trying to take this year. They're both at a fucking stretch to see who's going to win this year. Because now you have stacked cards with hella UFC events. And you also have stacked cards with boxing events. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I want to show you the stats. I want to see who's going to win. Before I talk about this, let's make this friendly. Let's not make this like, oh, fuck you. If you like boxing, I hope you die. If you like, no, bro, come on. We both enjoy. Let's make this a friendly war, okay? Let's not take it too serious, bro. Let's not take ourselves too serious. We're men who likes seeing other men kill each other. like, come on, bro. We all like pretty much the same thing. So let's not take it too serious. I'm cool with joking around. I'm gonna joke around, but let's not take it too serious. Because end of the day, the people who don't like both are sometimes losing. Like right now, I'm winning. Like if UFC is winning and boxing is losing, I'm still winning because I love UFC. And if boxing winning and UFC is losing, I'm still winning because boxing is winning. And if both of them are good as fuck, I'm winning double. The only way I'm losing and people who love both sports are losing and watch both sports is losing if both sports are horrible. And I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think either one's going to do ass or two, both of them are going to be great. So think about that before, say, oh, you love boxing or that, bro. I'm Sweden, bro. Everybody should be Sweden. Everybody should enjoy both. But let's talk about the Spear card versus Canelo card, because I feel like boxing's going to win this weekend, mainly because Dana White. Dana White kind of sold this Spear card. If he would have added Max Holloway versus Utopia, I feel like he would have won. I feel like he would have easily outsold that Spear card, would outsold Canelo easily. But sadly, he had to switch around some fights because again, Islam couldn't fight. So instead, we kind of have this lackluster fucking card. It's not a horrible card per se, but for a Spear card, which Dana White says is going to be the best fucking card of all time, yes, it's definitely lackluster. This is pretty much a Abu Dhabi fight night card. If you didn't have Sean Strickland versus Murab. Let's be honest. This would be a fight night card for Abu Dhabi or Saudi or one of those motherfuckers. Sadly, he kind of sold. I mean, it's still Spear. And he knows he's not trying to sell Sean versus Murab 2. He's just trying to sell, oh, this is the first combat sport in the spear. So that's how he's trying to sell you guys, saying this is the first combat sport and spear, all this shit, all this is gonna be great, all we're gonna have movies, all that shit. So it's kind of hard how you go sell this card, but you're not going, like, he should have stacked this card, but he kind of didn't. Let's be honest, he didn't stack this card. He should have, but he didn't. But with Canelo versus Edgar, it should have been nobody gives a fuck about this card, right? But Edgar kind of saved it. You may be asking yourself, how did Edgar save it? He saved it by talking shit to Canelo. He came in out reckless with Canelo, and he's not scared. And people know, okay, this is going to be a entertaining fight because Edgar's coming for war. Yeah, he's most likely going to get knocked the fuck out, but Edgar said he's coming for war. And this is going to be a great fight where everybody's going to fucking like. And it's also a stack card too with Caleb playing with Rolly and with Danny Garcia. Like, it's a stack ass fucking card. People are going to enjoy it. So like I said before, bro, it's going to look like Canelo's going to win because there's also Mexican Independence Day and people are going to want to track Canelo more. But like I said, just look at what Dana White said, right? Dana White said this is going to be the biggest gay UFC history. That's a W at 23 million. But he said MGM is guaranteeing Canelo 25 million. So I don't know if he means like it's a fake number or is that like, like I don't know what he means by that. But if he goes by the MGM number, Canelo's going to win the fucking ticket game. Again, 1.2 boxing. But also, one thing I wanted to show you guys, not this right now, is the tickets, right? The spear is kind of selling slowly, and the fact it was selling so bad, they expected to sell out, but it's selling bad, not because nobody wants to see in the spear, because the ticket price. The good thing about Canelo, he don't charge your fucking 8,000, 7,000, which the fucking USB seer was fucking charging. The bad thing is that Canelo, if you're a casual fan or diehard fan, you can go see Canelo if you're in Las Vegas. But if you're a diehard fan, you have to have money you have to have either, you have to be rich. No, you have to be rich or you have to sell your arm, your kidneys, you have to sell everything. That's pretty much the UFC spirit. They lowered their prices finally, but they were charging so much. And the reason why they were charging so much, because they paid a lot. They paid you like 30 million for this card. And also, they pay so much, they needed solid hope. That's why it's rated R season. That's why that's why Saudi's involved with a Mexican card. Again, Dana White kind of fucked up by making the ticket prices too high because he outpriced all the diehard fans. Diehard fans are not going to be able to afford this because if you don't, most of the fans who don't live in Las Vegas, they have to travel to Las Vegas, book a hotel, stay for 2 days, book a hotel, and pay for a ticket that's costs more than $1,000. That's a lot of fucking money and a lot of commitment. But if you pay for Canelo, you're going to spend way less on Canelo. You're going to have a good time because it's going to be entertaining fights. So that's the reason why I think boxing is going to win. And I love this war because at the end of the day, if boxing win or if fucking UFC win, because don't forget, this is kind of revenge for when Canelo was fighting Sergey Kovalev, and he had to wait because it was Nate Diaz versus Conor, I feel like, it was Nate Diaz versus someone. They had to, or Jorge, I think it was Nate Diaz versus Jorge, and Canelo had to wait till they were done so he could go and fight. Pretty sure this is revenge. Like, okay, I'm going to do that. And also, I like how people always, say, oh, look at this, but literally, Dana White himself was watching Canelo fight when the UFC paper fucking event was happening. Literally, when a fight was happening, he was rather watching Canelo. I don't know if it's fake or not. It could have been fake, but it's still funny. If it was real, it's still funny to me to this day. But also, before you guys call and say, oh, but Canelo this, Canelo that, look at the tickets. I mean, I don't know why you're not showing me the tickets, but you can see barely any tickets left. Like 10 tickets. And the prices are not bad. Look at this. 700. That's not bad, honestly. But I wanted to show you guys this.
It's going to be amazing. All right, obviously it's a celebration of Mexican Independence Day. It is MMA versus boxing a little bit this weekend in Las Vegas, but
MMA versus
from an
boxing.
MMA perspective, I don't really feel that way. But it feels like boxing is saying, "Oh, Dana White messed up. He tried to go against Canelo." I mean, do you feel like you're going against boxing at all? There's some message to be sent to Canelo or the sport of boxing?
I respect Canelo, and I like Canelo. I like Al Heyman, too. It isn't about that. I was going on this date no matter what. Last year they won on this date, but I think they were in Mexico. And, you know, the MGM, you know that whole story. I've said it a million times, but we're going on the Sphere that night. We're going to be sold out. I don't know. It doesn't matter. MGM's guaranteeing their gate, so it doesn't matter what happens for them. But I'm doing what I'm going to do on Saturday night. They're going to do what they're going to do on Saturday night, and it is what it is. Biggest gate in UFC history already, and the biggest event ever for pre-buys leading up to an event.
Really, with the pay-per-view sales?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
it's showing you that like they're also coming with the number, but this is not what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to show you already.
I'm saying that night, we're talking about the history of Mexico and the history of the people and their traditions and the impact that they've had on combat sports. So somebody said to me, so you'll be celebrating Canelo that night? No, yes, we are.
Yeah.
Canelo's a big part.
He's featured in the show.
He's a big part of the night, yes, of course.
Yes.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah, so all you guys, motherfuckers who try to take this serious, this is your boss saying we're celebrating a boxing legend. Guys, it's a friendly fucking competition, boxing versus MMA. This is the first time boxing been on top. MMA been talking shit for the last few years. Now it's time for boxing to come up top. But again, guys, this is a friendly beef. That's why I want to show you this clip, because your boss, the head of the movement, literally saying, oh, we're literally celebrating Canelo. We're deadass celebrating Canelo in our event that we're trying to go against boxing. Your boss is saying that we're celebrating boxing legends. So don't come in here and try and make this all serious. It's a friendly fucking beef, a friendly thing. Keep it PG. Don't care. Keep it PG. Oh yeah, keep it rated R, but don't go too serious, bro. Don't take all this serious, bro. End of the day, it's just two sports going against each other. Nothing to take too serious. And at the end of the day, both boxing fans and MMA fans are eating, and that's the best thing. That's the best thing. Always better to have both sports the best, because they're always competing with each other. Like, if you know pro wrestling, they don't get this because they're too. It's pro wrestling, bro. What you like? Come on, bro. It's pro wrestling fans. What do you expect them? You don't expect them to have some brain. But come on, guys. Boxing fan, MMA fans, we're the best when we're both competing at each other friendly, because then that's when they're both putting out the best cards. Okay? So we're both, if any Swedens out there, right, who love both sports, we're eating the most, because we're going to have a great ass Saturday night. But anyways, guys, look out for my Canelo and Spear card prediction. And yeah, who do you think is going to win? Spear card UFC or boxing and Canelo? Let me know. Sweet dreams.